Super
Good.
good. Yeah, we're happy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I'm very excited to have you here. I'm very happy that you agreed to come on, Irina. And also, Marielle, a surprise guest. And this is the 17th episode of my little live stream series. Hi to everybody watching. Hello.
Hello,
Um,
everybody. Hi, hi, hi.
please tell us if there's anything with the audio in the chat.
Yeah,
Um,
if you can hear us, me, very good. So please leave a comment so that there's no echo, that I'm not like from the moon. So I'm not.
exactly, yes. And if there's anything weird happening with the levels of audio, let me know. Um, yes, and I'm just going to double check that everything is going. And Irina, do you want to say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself before we hear some music?
Yes, well, I'm a human being who loves guitar very, very much. I discovered it because of my mom, who is a cellist. And well, I come from the city, the capital of South Ural, the city Chelyabinsk, and where my mom lives even nowadays, together with my father, of course. And my mom is a cellist, so she introduced me to the music world when I was even in her belly, I think. And um, I discovered guitar when I was 5.5 because she made a trick on me. I wanted to play violin, but she said the guitar has 6 strings, not 4. So being, a child, you always want more. I thought, let's try. And I started with the guitar and I just fell in love with the touch to the strings. And then I already, at my 8 years old, I made my first public performance. And so I started winning competitions when I was like 9, when in the regular regional competitions, and then 10 going to other cities. And then when I was 11 was my first international competition. So from there on, it kind of, I was professionally working as the guitarist and doing all that competition live. And I met a lot of great guitarists, and I was extremely inspired by Assad Duo, of their concert, of David Russell, and of Jose Maria Gallardo del Rey, and Roland Jens. I was so much inspired that I fell in love with the guitar from the bottom of my heart when I was like 12, 13 years old. So before that, yes, I practiced, that I was dreaming maybe to be an actress, maybe to be a pianist or a singer. And my daughter is going to bed now, so
Okay, good night, Mariella. Thank you for joining.
bye. Yeah, so I always loved music. I always felt that I'm very creative person and that I really love stage. I was performing a lot as a dancer actress for my family. And my mom also, she saw that I love buttons, that I really love to play a lot with my fingers and with buttons. So she thought, oh, actually her motor skills, they're really good for the guitar. And guitar was extremely popular in the 80s. I was born in 82. So that's kind of, she chose that because she loved the sound of the guitar. The guitar was very popular, and I fell in love with the guitar very much because it sounds like a human voice. And then at my 12, 13 years old, in that period, I remember that year, I was kicking out my mom from the house, I mean, from the room, so that she'd been like cooking or like playing with my brother, with my little brother, and I would practice on my own. So from that point, I just didn't want her to interfere. Of course, I played for her as a feedback to hear some comments and criticism, how to do. But then I remember at that time I was working on my sound, on my tremolo, on my technique, and I just really was 100% guitarist and as a musician going in my full development. And
Cool.
when I was around 18, I moved to Europe, and then I already did my education.
Something happened to your audio, Irina. One moment. Something happened to your audio. It's not coming through. One moment.
Yeah.
Okay, there. Now it's working. I don't know what happened. Something happened in Zoom. You're back.
Okay, good. So I don't know. Could you hear me?
Yes, until the point where you kicked your mother out of the room to practice.
Ah, really?
Yes. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So I kick out my mom from the room. So my mom played with my little brother, and she would be cooking dinner for us. But then I was seriously involved in all the guitar things, and I was working on my sound and on my technique, on my tremolo, and was really very much like developing as a guitarist, as a musician, on my own will and on my own passion.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you were a
So
very good student.
then I was very lucky to meet a great musicologist, Alexander Volgusnov, who was my mentor, who was my teacher besides other subjects and guitar teacher. So we listened to a lot of great repertoire and operas and ballet and piano works that definitely influenced on my guitar playing as well. When I was 17, I moved to Moscow, and then I was doing my graduation at Gnesens Academy in Moscow, and later on in Mozarteum, in Salzburg in Austria, and in Maastricht in the Netherlands. So I was doing also the big competitions, and I felt like part of our education, doing the competitions and finishing my education. So I was like doing that with with all in my old 20s. And
yeah, and I know a little bit about your legacy because of hearing your recordings that you won from winning in competitions, some CDs and things. And I think I kind of knew about you a little bit because I'm also studying with Carlo now in Maastricht, and you're one of his most well-known students from the past. So, you know.
Well, he was my great teacher. I had two fantastic teachers, Marco Tomai, with whom I learned a lot about the principles and to make your technique, shine.
Yeah.
And with Carlo, for me, his great advice and also like the trust in myself and working on Baroque classical period.
Yes.
I was focusing on that basically. And just being in his class, it's so great. And it was those teachers that gave me really a great impact who I am now. And plus, of course, like checking and training my abilities on the competitions with a great result in 2008 when I got all the 5 prizes on all competitions that I won. And then I wanted to participate on GFA, but there was always something. Or the obligatory piece, I felt, well, that's totally not my music. I have to be honest and play what I really feel I like. And I like many different styles. Okay, that was not possible. Another time it was just the flights were too expensive. And then I was so busy with concerts that I had no time to go to JFA, and later on I was already in the jury of JFA. So it's kind of, okay, that's it.
That's a good problem to have, being too busy with concerts, I would say. This is good.
Well, I also believe that doing the competitions, it's part of your education, and not like if you're above 30, let's say, and if you play guitar for many years, that you should go while you already have a concert career and doing the competition at the same time. So I have a different approach to that, right?
Yeah, it's not always a career thing necessarily. I mean, hopefully playing concerts is the goal, but yeah. Cool, wonderful. So we're actually going to listen to some music now from Irina's recordings. And it's a recording with the same producer for your new CD, with Norbert Kraft, right, for Naxos?
Yes, exactly. One of this probably, what are we going to listen to now? What
Tedesco.
Oh, perfect. So that was one of my competition piece, and then I recorded it while I won the competition, and then I recorded with the next producer, Norbert Kraft. Yes, and the same CD, what is a new CD, I mean, with the same producer. I really love to work with him. He's a perfectionist, like he will not miss any note.
Yeah, he's intense. But I mean, it's kind of a slightly different program because this CD, more of these kind of competition pieces in this CD. That this one we're going to
Exactly,
listen to.
exactly. So I wanted after won all the competitions. This CD is like a present for my mom
Mm-hmm.
because and as a competition prizes, they're also like a present for my mom. And I wanted to record that kind of top guitar repertoire. Also, I'm very interested in very popular guitar repertoire as well. But that was, like very hot after winning the competition. And then let's remember these
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
Let's record it how they were at that time, because
Yes.
now we play them differently.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Cool.
Let's listen to this piece with pleasure.
Yes, the fourth
Love it.
movement. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. Wonderful. That was wonderful.
That's a movement with a lot of passion.
Yes, yes, and a lot of fire. very fiery. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I met his granddaughter, Diana, the desk in New York. It's been really a pleasure also to see the handwritten notes of Mario Castellano Tedesco.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Little notebook of all the pieces that, he always wrote down which piece, what year, and
Wonderful. It's nice to see everybody in the comments. Tim Beatty says hi, Mike and Irina. Kevin Lowe says hey, guys.
I can't see the comments, but hello to everyone.
Yes.
Happy to see you, and I will read your comments later.
Yes.
Or you will help me with reading them through.
Yeah, Tim says, I remember seeing this video when it first came out 8 or 9 years ago. I was just a couple years into learning classical guitar, and this was so inspiring to me. So you're inspiring younger players, Irina. This is good.
Thank you. My pleasure. A lot of hard work and a lot of love for music.
Yes, yeah, this sonata is a lot of work. I haven't played it fully, but just reading some of it, it's intense.
I was inspired by Marcin Dilla when he played the sonata. I thought, oh, I love the piece, but I can interpret it differently.
Yeah.
And I just fall in love with the music, and when I'm focused on something, then I'm unstoppable. So I will play, doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter how heavy it is, how hard it is. It's just, if I love it, I must find the way, always a solution.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. If people have questions for Irina, just put them in the chat, and I will find them and let her know. And yeah, so if you want to know anything, let us know. And also, if you can share the stream, that would be also lovely if people can do that. Because we're actually here to talk about Irina's latest project today, which is another recording with Norbert Kraft, but quite different program, like we mentioned before. Do you want to give us a little bit of info about the CD project?
Well, I was lucky that before the pandemic and all the flights and borders were closed, I was recording in Florida beginning of March of this year, 2020, with the greatest, my favorite perfectionist producer, Norbert Kraft. And this CD has popular music, very well known, let's say like that, and also guitar and cello pieces, because my mom is a cellist and I really love this instrument. I think it's the first one I heard, right? And then I got to the guitar. So there will be like Albéniz, by Albéniz Asturias, and Satie, music by Satie, by Debussy. Well, there will be music by Targa, Capriccio Arabe, and Moonlight by Debussy. There's like Schubert Serenade, Schubert Ave Maria with guitar and cello, and Albinoni Adagio for guitar and cello. He's written specially for us, a world premiere by great composer Konstantin Vasilyev, who lives in Germany. Fantastic 3-night ballads, and we played it on a few concerts, also on GFA. During last year in Miami, during the festival and the convention, and people loved it. So that's music, well, kind of more well known than Castellano Tedesco sonata, you know, and like Lagrima by Targa. There is also on the CD, but then it is, in a way, it was challenging to play it because I wanted to make it extremely beautiful with a very beautiful tone, and then to share it with the world. The recording was with live acoustics, so it's not a studio, it's always in the church, what I appreciate very much. And we were able to record it all, and then I had my last flight back to the Netherlands, and then I was sick with this virus, so I was struggling myself, going through that, in March. And then I got kind of sad news that I could not go back to United States in April and play my concert in San Francisco. I could not go to Germany, couldn't go to Italy, I could not go anywhere anymore. And then all concerts canceled till December. And then even for the next year, it's maybe, and then we don't know. And I thought that for this great production, I can pay myself from all my concert fees, and I really wanted to give this musical present for my daughter's 8th birthday. It was a dream since she was born, and she really loved this repertoire. And there will be also La Catedral by Barrios, and she really loved to dance on the first movement so much, and she imagined it like snowflakes or like water drops, like it's a rain and she's dancing under the rain. So she always has different plot, different story with the piece. And then I play Capriccio Arabe, and she thought, oh, it has to be a little bit slower because let me feel that note. And I'm like, okay, what tempo? And it's kind of, we build up the program together. And I start playing these pieces because I love them very much. And then I see how much she loves them. And sometimes I would put them on my concert program, and I see the reaction of the audience, how much they love this music. And then I realized it would be great to have my interpretation with my sound, with my depth, with my love to guitar, to have such a CD with the popular guitar pieces. So we decided that, okay, CD is recorded, but maybe I can release that on my own in 2-3 years time, or we can just ask everyone to give a little bit of support. There is a pledge you can do even with €1 if you believe in the project. You can put even €1. But of course, like with the €10 you can get digital copy, with €15 the signed copy, and then you will be the first one to receive it before it goes on the market and the shops. So, and then we decided to be even more creative, and some people, if they want to give a musical present with like a video with me congratulating for the special day, I can record a video. I never done it before, but I really love the idea to talk to these people, congratulate them with words and then with music, and play something beautiful. So we decided to give them like this, video clip and video recording, right? And also I really like the idea, and we see that people supported already that pledge, that box where you can put your name in the booklet, and it's for lifetime. And if someone wants to have also this kind of Kickstarter campaign with a CD and musician I love, I would support it as well and be in their booklet. I find this very special, and it's only possible in this last 6 days, and then the campaign will be closed on May 30th, and then it's not possible anymore. So it will be finished. This offer. So we've been very creative to that online lessons. If someone wants to have with a transcription of Chopin Valse number 7 that I did myself, and I have the recording of it already on YouTube. So there is score of the Chopin Valse, signed CD. There's
many rewards,
options. And we even I got even more creative, that someone, let's say the guitar luthier, doesn't want to have online lessons. Yes, why? Learn to play guitar, right? With the beautiful instruments. And I really love to discover new guitar makers. And I always think every guitar has its own personality. So that instead of online lessons, I can do the video on another guitar and playing beautiful piece, 5 minutes piece, 3 minutes piece, but not on my guitar, but on the guitar of another maker, and talk a little bit about this guitar. Because like we love wine, there can be different kind of wines, right? There can be different kinds of guitars. So I love that variety, and I'm very open to collaborate and give and exchange one beauty to another beauty.
Yeah, I think this situation is making us all have to be a little bit creative, I mean, I started this live stream interview series to try to fill the space where normally I would be performing and making connections that way in person. But I think, the timing is difficult, but it's wonderful to see that you made something very beautiful out of it by connecting to people in a different way, So that's really great.
The name of the CD, the title, actually, it's a long time my motto in life, and it was already for a long time on my website. And in general, it was my own words that we kind of turned into motto, but this is my real true belief. And this CD has a title. it's about the touch.
Mm-hmm.
It was before the pandemic. It was many,
Yeah.
many years ago, but it's about the touch. And then I thought, okay,
It's a bit
I
ironic,
believe
but yeah.
now in crowdfunding. I believe like all together we can support each other. And it's great how we met, also through this pandemic time. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
very happy to chat like this with you. And I will hear the questions. I will read the comments later.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some advantages also of the time, and
Yeah.
we have to kind of get used to that new life, right?
Yeah, we have to try to connect in some way, and it's nice. I mean, I knew that you were still in the Netherlands because my friend Philippe Neves Coural has worked with you a little bit, and he mentioned that you're really great, and so he suggested that I contact you for this show, and then we meet this way. And there's a lot of ways we make connections, even though we can't see people right now.
Even my students.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
now he's my friend as well, because
Yes.
he's just so great, and
Yeah,
I
Philippe
really
is great.
love to work with him, and he was such a devoted student that, well,
Yeah.
so much love and so much passion for music, of course, connects people.
Of course, yeah. Cool. So, I mean, for everyone who's interested in the CD that Irina's been describing, the link is in the description already. So if you just look in the description of the video, you can find the Kickstarter. And I know it's already past the threshold of the pledge, but there are always extra costs with CD production. And so you can still give until the 30th, because Irina can still use the money to help more with the production, because it costs more than just the amount that's asked, and also she can make
it was a lot more. Yes, it
Yeah.
was a lot more than we put as a goal, and
Of
then
course,
we
yeah.
also would love to do like a beautiful video, and one of the pieces that is recorded, just to dedicate it also with the visual effects, not only like hearing it,
Yeah.
right? And it's also, if someone got lost in a Kickstarter, there is also a direct link through my website, irinakulikova.com.
Mhm.
So it's easy to find eventually.
Yes, yeah. And the website is also, your website's also in the description, so just so people know where it is.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Cool. And so, yeah, so I mean, I really liked the program idea, because it's a little bit different than your other recordings, which I've kind of followed, like we talked about. And a lot of the pieces, like you said, are hits, but there are a few pieces in there that are not so well known. I mean, especially the new pieces, like the ones that Konstantin Vasiliev wrote. So I think it's nice that you mixed a little bit in some, lesser known repertoire in a similar style.
Konstantin already dedicated one piece for me, and I recorded two more. Very famous, the 3/4 paintings among the guitarists, right? It's
yes.
on my Russian CD. And then he dedicated Swan Princess. It's also on YouTube, and it's on my Russian CD that I recorded for Naxos.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the CD like with that Russian program where I discovered him. Again, one of the students of Carlo Marchioni played 3/4 paintings. I fell in love with this music. Eventually, I got in touch with the composer, and now he knows my style. Now he knows my expression. So for him, it was very easy and challenging, because I told him, I really would love to have a new repertoire for a guitar and cello. I don't want just to give an accompaniment. I want something new where both instruments are equally speaking. So can you please create some new repertoire for guitar and cello? He said, but I never wrote for cello. I said, I'm sure you can do it. And then we just didn't talk about it. And after a while, he just comes with this very beautiful piece. And then every time when we played it, of course, he writes it in a very different style, but he knows how I love very romantic, and it's very smooth for the ear to listen to that music. And he knows that he can write anything difficult for the guitar. And he checked also, of course, with the cellist, what and how is better to write for the cello. So that's really very well written, very comfortably to play, and it's very beautiful music. Also on YouTube, there is one movement, the Queen of Clear Night, that we recorded for Guitar Salon in Santa Monica. And I'm very happy to support also great composers, and always to combine. I always do it also on concerts. I play program of different epochs, and also I would introduce a new piece that people don't know. because I think we should develop our guitar repertoire and extend it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also in the chamber music as well, so not only guitar solos. So that's why I really work with many different composers
Yeah.
that, encourage them to write more for other ensembles and also for the guitar solo, and the new interesting projects are coming up with really great music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think playing contemporary music is very important. And it's really nice when you work with a composer who knows you. Like you said, I have a friend who's a great composer.
Oh, there is a click, there is a connection.
Yeah, and he's in Canada, but he's a really great composer, and we've been friends for a long time. So when he wrote this new sonata for me, it fit me, not just my technique, but also what I like musically, and that makes me even happier to play it in a concert, you know?
You can express yourself, and not yourself, but your ideas, your abilities, your feelings. I mean, like with the piece that, when the click is deeper, the expression is easier and also, I think, more profound.
Yeah, yeah. So this composer, Nathan Bredesen, wrote something that really works for me, and that's really special as a performer, I think. I mean, we all find music we love in the repertoire, but it's even more special when it's created with us in mind, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and for the cello and guitar repertoire, it's nice that you asked him to do that, because sometimes some of the pieces we can find are a little bit one-sided, you know, like you said. With the guitar, it's just accompaniment.
And in that situation, it's more like the cello accompanying the guitar.
Okay, yeah.
It's really, because they have plenty of solo anyway, because it's one voice instrument, and well, with a little bit sometimes double notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really, really a great music, and it has a fantastic potential for a lifetime for all musicians to play it. So, and the score will be published as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we prepare all this.
Nice. Rosie Bennett says, "Can't wait to watch this interview after I finish work tonight." Oh, thanks, Rosie. And
greetings to her.
Yes, Irina says hi. And Filip Neveshkura says, "Two beautiful people in one single program. What more can you ask?" And Tim says, "The three forest paintings are amazing." The three forest paintings are great. I like them a lot. I haven't played them, but I have a few friends who've played them, and they're really beautiful pieces.
There is also Snowdrops Konstantin has, and I have the score, and I'm already working on it for guitar and voice.
Oh, beautiful.
Or we also do it now for guitar and cello. So
oh, that's good to know, because
it's really great, and it's really very nice. So
my fiance is a singer, and we have a duo, so I should look at this piece.
Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, you can use this piece as well. It's called Snowdrops. It's like a separate piece now. But
cool. What's the language?
It's Vocalese.
Oh, it's Vocalese. Okay, cool. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, well, we're going to listen to a little more music. We're going to listen to some Barrios, which you are also putting Barrios on the CD, but this is not the same piece.
I put La Catedral, and we are going to listen to...
Valse, number 4.
Valse. Oh, yeah. That's great. My daughter also loved this Valse.
Yes, and this recording is from you playing for the Dutch National Television, right? Yes.
Yes. I was with a very cold hands and without warming up. Finish, play, no, live. I said, okay, man. Let's do that. Let's dance.
Very brave. Okay, we're going to listen to some Barrios now. And people who are listening, please think of questions to ask, because a lot of people are saying hi, but we want more questions. Okay, let's listen to some Barrios. Right, we are back. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Beautiful playing.
thank you. I really
Nice.
love this piece. I really love all various music.
Yeah.
Really fantastic. Some of them are very challenging to play, if you want to really connect all the notes in a beautiful phrase.
Yes.
But I always find I find the music extremely beautiful and having a Russian soul.
Yes.
It feels like this Russian music as well.
Right. Yeah. It is very passionate. We have a couple questions now. Kevin Lowe, I don't know if you know Kevin, but he's asking. Here's a question for Irina. What sort of music do you listen to nowadays? What are you listening to?
I'm always nowadays Billie Eilish. That's my daughter. Well, and she's dressing up like Billie Eilish and putting some mascara here. I love jazz very much in the evening, also for dinner. I really love to listen to some jazz, and I listen to some jazz singers because I pick up a lot also for my guitar playing. I'm always seeing as the singing is the first instrument. I just listen carefully to the singers, not only to enjoy and for the nice atmosphere, but also how they are working with the breathing and phrasing and all this. And I listen to a lot of cello repertoire because I just realized that repertoire is also quite limited compared to piano and orchestra works. So I'm listening to more cello repertoire because I want to have more pieces for guitar and cello, and something for my inspiration that I would find also on YouTube or on Spotify. And it's definitely will be the worldwide music, anything. So actually sometimes I listen even to folk music from a certain country as a curiosity, out of the curiosity, or some great piano works, concertos. Well, recently I've been listening to Scriabin piano concerto, and
nice.
I was so impressed about it. It's like watching a great movie. And
yeah.
I always listen to more music than just the guitar music. This is definitely like that.
Yeah, same here. We had tickets to go see Yuja Wang at Concertgebouw, but then it got canceled because of coronavirus, which was sad. Yeah.
Well, I hope it's just postponed and you can go later, because with some concerts, what I see in my situation, they just canceled with, of course, no refund, and I lost on tickets because they don't want to refund on a ticket. So there's a lot of also couple of thousands, because I usually buy tickets sometimes 6, sometimes even 8 months in advance. And they're just thousands of euros that I cannot get back because they just don't give a refund. Some I could, like for Delta in April, because also, the different rules, it was possible to refund, but many tickets not. So I lost them, airplane tickets and concerts as well. They just canceled. And only a few postponed to next year. So
it's a rough time. For sure.
A new time as well, because we don't know how to deal with that and how to make the concert hall with a 1.5 meter distance, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's different, and we'll see what happens. We just don't know is the problem, but we have to make do with what we have, I guess. Philippe is asking, can you share with us your dearest memory from performing?
Dearest memory, good or bad?
I think he means good. Yeah, I think he means good.
Well, I can start with a good one.
Yes, and then do the bad one after.
That's very interesting thing. If you're on a tour, there is a certain peak, and it's not the last concert necessarily. And it's not, it always depends, it varies. But what I noticed, like if you have a tour with 10 concerts, that your 5th, 6th will be like the best. And if it happened, because like it's still like super fresh, and I speak about the intense tour, not like the one you have like spread in a year time, but in one go, like like every day, every night is a new city. And if it's also in a good combination with a great hall, with a great acoustic and very friendly audience. Because sometimes, audience is always great. If they come, that means they really want to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it can happen that the mentality of that specific region, that they're just a little bit like holding back and they don't show their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They might, after the concert, come and greet you with hugs and bring some fantastic presents. Sometimes I got amazing, valuable, golden thing like jewelry after the concert, and people buy a lot of CDs and they're really great, but during the concert they're quiet,
Yeah.
and that's it. And sometimes and in Japan, for example, when I play there, amazing acoustic, but hall is very dark and it's very quiet, and then you feel like you're completely alone. But this is their tradition to listen to classical music, which is also amazing. And then 3 hours line, maybe I exaggerate 3 hours, but I remember just like for every single person I had to sign something on the mobile phone, CD
cover, yeah.
CD cover, on the mobile phone cover, on the T-shirt, anything. They just want everything to be signed, and everyone loves it. So it's like a tradition. It's a lot longer line than in Europe or in the United States, and I love it. It's great. But the connection during the performance is very different. And I think for the classical guitar, it's great to a little bit talk to the audience, and if audience understands. Of course, if they don't speak the same language, it's very hard. But I find it's beautiful if you can say, like now I'm playing Johann Sebastian Bach Prelude for Allegro. Listen, something like that. No, it was a great composer who was born, in Germany.
Yeah.
So something more personal, like why you play this piece, what is so special, especially if you play new music, that a little bit introduce, like why you decide to play this piece and what is this piece about. So I'm not too long and not too academical, not too official. I always curious to hear the voice of the musician and a little bit more why this piece is in the program tonight. And if it's possible to have this connection that people really, and I have it 95% that I have this talk, connection, and acoustic is great. So altogether, it's such an incredibly enjoyable evening, and you're playing, it's exactly how you want. And then it comes at certain moment, you never know when, basically. But if it's a tour, I already have an experience. It's just about like 5th or 6th concert.
Yeah.
Then it whenever will be a DVD live concert, I don't want it to be the last one. I want it to be somewhere in between, and in the middle. Because at the end, your focus is different. Your hands are playing. You still hear it all, but your mind maybe is not as fresh. So what I also try to do, not to do such a long tour. Well, it also depends how long are the flights in between and all that. So a combination of things, like sometimes you think it could be like an amazing concert, but they put an air condition and it goes exactly, like through your fingers, and your fingers like ice cold. So you are in music, but you also so much controlling your fingers because they're like ice cold, and you help them mentally to move in the right speed. Then if you have that struggle, right, it's not. I have also some very beautiful memories when people cried, like was touching their emotion, or when people were coming after the concert and saying that this concert, it was like a meditation for me. In general, like seeing people happy after the concert, and you feel it during the concert, you feel the connection, then it's all the dearest moment for me. And of course, sometimes while seeing a baby in a concert and they're not crying and they're listening with big eyes like that, is there are many moments like this.
When we were in Spain,
acoustic helps. Acoustic helps a lot to enjoy yourself, your own performance.
Yeah, the acoustic does matter. It's always interesting to me seeing how different audiences interact too. Like when we were in Spain this last summer for Rene Izquierdo's festival, we played a concert after the festival because a priest from a nearby town said, "Hey, we would like some musicians who are here for the festival to come play a concert in our town." So we did this extra concert afterwards, and it was like a small town that had never had a guitar concert before, I guess, and basically the whole town came, but also there were kids playing. Like the whole families came all together, which was very different than what I'm used to. So we had kids playing in between the pews in the church, and
Nice.
it was a
Very
different kind of dynamic, than the usual thing where it's like, just some people from the family come or the parents come, and so
I really love when someone comes and say, "Oh, actually, only by accident I got to your concert because I always was afraid of classical music.
right,
To
yeah,
understand it, I thought I can't. It's too for very intelligent people or
yeah,
people with a special background and education."
hmm
And then they just love it and they say, "Oh, now I'm your biggest fan." And I keep in touch with these people through years, and it's true, they go to different classical guitar concerts nowadays or to any other concerts as well, because they were afraid and they came with a friend because this
yeah,
friend, like loves Russian people and then
yeah,
Russians. They're just like, "Oh, let's see."
yeah,
And then they just discover classical music. So this is
yeah,
for me dearest moments.
for
The
sure.
bad ones is when your string breaks while
Ah,
you're playing, or the
yeah.
chair,
Actually, in the
like
comments,
squeaking.
Frank Chaprunka says, "How often does she change her strings? Has she ever broken one in performance?" So someone's asking about this.
Yes, once even the whole bridge broke. It was in Russia. It was extremely cold, and
Oh,
the temperature. It was not my now concert guitar by Simon Marty, but it was a different guitar. It was a long time ago, but it was like in Celsius was -40 outside,
oh yeah. Oh,
very cold. And during the performance, and it got actually on my face, and it hurt me, my
oh
my
my
face.
goodness.
So that
Wow.
was very very unpleasant. And it happened once that the string broke during concert, and a few times when the string broke just before the concert. So always need to have a spare
Extra set,
string.
yes.
Yeah, I hate changing strings,
Yeah.
but I see it necessary, and
Yeah.
I have very good Savar strings. They're very stable, and also I don't have sweaty hands, so
Oh,
that's
that's
an
nice.
advantage.
That's good.
Yes, I don't need to change them very often, but I hear that, okay, now it's a good time, and I don't have like Monday the 21st I have to change the strings. It all varies on how many concerts I played and how many practice I had. So
Mm-hmm.
eventually I love changing strings because while I'm doing that I listen to some great music, so it's
Yeah.
okay. But
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ioana Gandrabur who's coming on the show in a few weeks. Actually, Ioana is asking, can you talk about the difference between East and West European education system for music or in general?
what Johannes, who Johannes?
Ioana Gandrabur. She's a teacher
Okay.
in Montreal. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, greetings. It is well, for me, being I was born in a country that doesn't exist anymore,
Right.
and mentality of people that live in Russia now, Russian Federation, is very different. So I was born in Soviet Union,
Mm-hmm.
and I got really Soviet Union education. It has some great advantages and also disadvantages. Like there's not enough support, mental support, right? Or if you're doing something great, they would not say it's great. They would say work more,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you can do better.
Yeah.
And it's great that when you study, when you used to study like at the Russian School of Music, now you can go and study only guitar, a private academy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. So it's changing. It's become more like in Europe, but in general, like if you would go to to study guitar in the music school, it's only the only place where you could go and study music. Then you have to follow other subjects as well, like music history, hearing, solfeggio, the harmony, so rhythmic. So you just have like the full complete education.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have also a lot of concert performances. So altogether they train you like super well to be, you know, full 100% musician and not just guitarist, musician.
Yes, yeah.
Because then you choose just an instrument that you're playing on, but the full education is all about music, and I appreciate it very much. So when I teach, I try to combine it, you know, on my lessons and on my online academy that I'm going to open. It's already like preparing all that. It's about the Touch Academy. I'm definitely going to connect other professors on other subjects that, you know, they can explain in a very simple but very clear way, very important basic things for the guitarists, so that it's not too scary, like, oh, I don't want to become, you know, a musicologist or something like that.
Yeah. But it's about people understanding the actual architecture of music and how it works, right? I mean, even with my students who are not serious musicians, quote unquote, in the sense of wanting to have a career, many of them, they've had other guitar teachers before who didn't teach them even basic things about how to understand basic chord harmony, you know, basic intervals, melodic ideas, legato, all these things.
I always compare it like if you want to build a house by yourself. You still have to know the basics, how to do the fundament, what sand is better to use, what stones is better to use, so that doesn't collapse on you.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a city and you look at the map, you learn how to read the map to orientate yourself easier, or how you learn to drive a car, right? So simple things like how to stop before the traffic light. You learn about these basics, otherwise you will have an accident. Why some people, when they play, they don't make a very beautiful ritenuto, ritardando at the end? Why just suddenly stop?
Yeah.
Just a cut.
Yeah.
And for me, there's such a logical things that when people learn to cook, they learn the basic things. Otherwise, you know, the food is not delicious or it's overcooked, right?
Yeah.
So the very simple things I find is important for anyone who also just as a hobby play guitar, they should know. But then again, it should just be explained on a different level and really like on the guitar, because I learned the harmony on the piano, what is very different, I think, for the guitarist. And I think for the guitar education is very important. This is what we don't have in Russia, but I would prefer that we all guitarists learn different guitars, even flamenco style, and, you know, maybe trying a little bit electric guitar, just even for an idea for education, like if you study at the university. And the improvisation, I find it's extremely important for us to be able to have that. But then coming back to that idea between Eastern and Western, I know in China, the same like in Russia, they push you a lot. They make you work, but like a machine.
Yes.
So there's no like creativity in it. There is no love for it. It's just like pure repeat and repeat.
Right.
So I find it's very important anyway to have it for kids, especially in a sort of game and a certain challenge. And for adults, I was totally shocked when from Moscow education, where they just give you a full schedule, what you have to follow, and you just like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
You come to Austria and they just, where are my subjects? What do I have to do? And then what is happening there? You have like 5 main subjects, and then you have like hours that you can choose for that many hours, any subjects you want. And you can do them at any time you feel you're ready to do that, you want to do that. And I find it's amazing, because this way I was able to prepare for competitions, because I had time. Let's say that year I want to learn the language and I want to do the competitions, and then later on I take other subjects, and I will invest more in some, you know, like theoretical subjects, and I want to do more practical subjects. And it gives you a lot of freedom, and I think this is really great that you can develop on your own speed with your own personality, so you don't become like all the same.
And also your own projects too, because like in Maastricht, for example, maybe it was the same when you were there, I don't know, but they have what's called free space. Probably sounds similar, where you get credits for doing professional musical work outside of school, you know? And so, for example, I did this project with my composer friend. He wrote me a CD. We did a tour in Canada of 7 concerts, all Canadian music, all new Canadian music, and I was able to get credit for that. And it used up some of my class time, so I didn't have to spend my time in some extra lecture, but I got to do some real work
exactly.
in the real world. And that matters for musicians, because when we graduate, many of us end up being kind of freelance, you know? So if we don't have the option to build that while in school, how do you transition from school to the real world and having real projects, you know? It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
It can be.
Yeah, I totally agree that it is very important. It's very interesting. I would like just some maybe exams be a little bit more strict, and
Yes,
on
yeah.
the basis, like the teachers, when they teach kids, that I see that sometimes they have a lesson like 3 kids together.
Yeah.
We had what I really loved. We had twice per week, 45 minutes one-on-one lessons.
Nice.
And that makes a big difference. And then if you didn't practice well, they can kick you out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're so afraid, so you work hard. So I think if we can combine both systems, you know,
Yeah.
making a little bit easier and with more joy and more playful, the Russian system,
Right.
plus more freedom, or the opposite, the other way, like a little bit adding some strict, I don't know, tests, or finding a good way to motivate students, plus, of course, more lessons one-on-one and not like group lessons.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, the one-on-one attention is really important in music, because everybody's an individual as a musician. It's very hard to develop someone in a formula, you know?
I find it's very, very good to play in ensemble and in chamber music. I find it extremely important.
Yeah.
But it should be both.
Yes.
Not like only solo, but both.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Exactly.
Well, do you want to say a little bit more about the CD project before we listen to our last recording today? What I'm curious, for the Satie and the Chopin, you made your own transcriptions, right?
Satie is from Roland Jens.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, and Chopin, it's my own transcription of this piece. I used to play it on the piano when I was
cool.
younger.
Nice.
Because I also have like obligatory subjects, piano and conducting, and
Right.
So basically I put my heart on that CD. Well, it's not like poetical words, it's really the music that I always loved very much, and I wanted to unite it all in one CD, because they're all like very touchy pieces, and they're like traveling from a bit Spanish music to French music, and well, the Russian as well. So to show the variety, but again, this is like my favorite pieces, and of course I didn't put all my favorite pieces.
Yeah, it would be too long.
Yeah, it would be too long, but I really wanted to show the diversity of the music that I love, that I hear on the piano. And I know for sure that they sound amazing on the guitar, and maybe even some pieces they sound better on the guitar than on the piano. For example, I really love Asturias on the guitar.
Yes, yeah.
And I know it can be like super great played on the piano. I still think this is our piece.
Yes, yeah. Everybody thinks it's a guitar piece. I mean, not everybody, but many people who don't necessarily know, who just hear it, they say, oh yeah, I know this guitar piece, yeah.
And because my daughter also studies piano, and the CD dedicated to her, and I listen to a lot of music, also a lot of piano music. It's kind of, again, the connection, you know, the music that I love, non-guitar composers, how we can play it on our beautiful instrument. And well, and that's why there is also a combination that I play Ave Maria by Schubert with the cello, but I didn't do the accompaniment just like an arpeggio. I did the double notes. It's
nice.
Very complicated fingerings,
Cool.
but I did all the phrasing, all the connections, and with all the timing, with all, like, I just took an original score. We changed the tonality that is better for a guitar and cello, but I just was playing from the original piano score.
Nice.
And well, it just to share my favorite pieces. The CD will be long, it will be like 70 minutes or around that time.
Nice. Cool.
And many people really loved my La Catedral by Barrios, and they so much wanted to hear me play that. So it was like spontaneous idea, like, oh, let's also have this piece as well.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So,
Carla Guichard says, I'm playing Cities No 1 thanks to Irina. Very inspiring. Nice.
oh,
And
I'm happy to know this.
yes, and Toby McWilliams says, what arrangement of Clair de Lune does Irina play?
Sorry?
What arrangement of the Debussy Clair de Lune do you play?
I have to check. I don't remember now. I got
Okay.
this score from another guitarist, and it will be published.
Cool.
I
Nice.
did. I just,
Awesome.
and I put some edits myself
Yeah, of course.
on that arrangement because some things I was not completely agreed, and
Not convinced, yeah.
yeah, and then so I edit a little bit.
Yeah.
I have that also approach.
I think we do that. In when me and Jessica do the Falla Siete Canciones, even if I'm using another transcription, I edit stuff. It happens. You look at the piano score and you see something that
you compare with the piano score and you realize this is just a completely wrong chord and here some notes are missing.
Yeah.
So and then you add it a little bit because sometimes if you in general think that it's a very good transcription, it saves your time to make your own, and then you just take the piano score and you correct it a little bit or adjust it.
Yeah, or you choose which notes you want to keep because we can't keep them all.
Exactly. Or like with Rodrigo, sometimes there was like 8 notes written and then you just choose which one are the best.
Exactly. Nice. Well, for the last piece we will listen to Recuerdos de la Alhambra. But you don't have this on the CD, right?
No, I have other pieces. I have the Adelita and Lacrima,
nice.
And the Capriccio Árabe and the Gavot Maria.
Oh, nice.
Recuerdos de la Alhambra I have on my other CD.
Right. Okay. Nice. But this recording is from the Tchaikovsky Hall, so a big concert.
Yes, the acoustic was really, really great
there.
I don't know, but they still use the mic. But I hope you enjoyed it because this is my tremolo, my own tremolo that actually I discovered by myself when I was 12 and a half years old.
Okay, nobody taught you tremolo then. You figured it out yourself.
Well, many people ask me, I love your tremolo. What do you do? How do you do? So this is my tremolo that no one taught me how to do tremolo. This is my own tremolo. I found my own way and I'm teaching my students. It works for them as well. And because I knew that I wanted to be also sustained at even and it sounds like just a human voice, like a vibrato, right, of the human voice. So I wanted this, but my mom thought I'm too early for that. My teacher also thought I'm too young for that. And you
figured it out.
Heard that on the concert of that great guitarist of Sergio Assad, Odair Assad, David Rouse. I heard all these pieces and they use tremolo and I'm just like, I want to know how it works. So with my why question, why it's like this, why it's like that, how can I make it better? I developed my own tremolo.
Nice.
So here we go.
Cool. Okay, let's listen to some recordos. And if people have any last minute questions at the end before we sign off, let us know after the piece. So let's listen to...
we'll be very happy to answer the questions.
Let's hear some Tarega. Okay, wonderful. Very nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
love this piece
Yeah,
very much.
I love this piece too. I play it in concerts quite frequently when I perform, and I people always connect with it, you know.
And that's what I learned with age and experience. Before, I always thought, oh, I played that piece enough. That's it. I don't
Yeah.
want it anymore. But people want it. And then I was, okay, people want it. But then I just realized how it's wonderful that people love it. People want to hear it again and again. It kind of gives me an extra now inspiration
Mm-hmm.
to play it and repeat it. And then this is the moment when someone shouts even from the audience when I ask, what would you like to hear for the encore? Recuerdos de la Alhambra. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay, I played it 1,000 times. I would choose something else. But then, wow, he really wants to hear it again. It's great. It's so precious. And then
Yeah.
I noticed, like, when I realized how precious it is that people love certain music and they want to repeat that, it always comes out differently.
Yes.
Different interpretation, different tempos, different sounds. So, and then if you play it in a new version, right,
Mm-hmm.
then you also love it. And next time I'm really looking forward to, I want to repeat this piece again because I don't know how it will it will come out
Cool.
this time.
Yeah, for sure.
So it becomes always a surprise for me now.
Yeah, I think sometimes when a piece ages like that, it becomes more fun to play in some ways, because you feel like you have control to play with it, you know?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, people aren't asking questions, but everyone's saying how beautiful it was. So, nice. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Irina. It's been a real pleasure, and I'm very happy you're here.
Thank to everyone who was joining us. And you can share this live stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's all open publicly, right? So they
Yes.
can share it as much as they want.
Exactly.
And thank you so much for being with us, for all your comments, and for the words of inspiration, because it's important to know when once I wanted to stop playing guitar simply because a lot of jet lags, right? Sometimes you feel very lonely. You think, oh, you just go to another things to do. But you hear words like you and inspiration. I feel I have no rights to stop.
Yeah.
You just, yeah. And then it also gives all that extra energy to work and practice, looking forward to our live concerts and meetings in person, because this is what I find very, very special after the concert, to see the audience, to talk to them. It's always great. And well, thank you for your compliments. I always take them as nice reward and a great inspiration for practicing more and learning my new repertoire. And thank you
for sure
much, and for this wonderful hour and a bit, right?
It was lovely.
Our chats, questions.
Yeah,
It's been really nice hour.
And someone's asking, Pedro Miguel Diaz says, what about the tremolo, your own fingering? Is it the same fingering as normal, or do you use a different fingering?
Yes, it's P-A-M-I.
Okay, but your own way to do it.
It's more about the weight of the fingers, where it goes what, which one is stronger, which one is softer.
Right, yeah. These kind of subtleties, cool. Well, thank you, Irina. It's been wonderful. And everybody, please check out the Kickstarter link in the description about her new album. So you can see, if you want to support it, how you can support it. And also her website is there, and you can find her YouTube channel and listen to more of her beautiful playing with many different pieces.
And I'm in touch with everyone who is supporting the Kickstarter. I'm in touch with everyone in person. So that's another way to get connected.
For sure. Yeah, it's about making connections. It's about the touch, even if it's not physical, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. I also want to just quickly announce tomorrow I'm going to be streaming with Joel Thompson, who's a great guitarist from Vancouver, at 8 p.m. again. And then Tuesday, I'm just checking the schedule here. Tuesday, I'm streaming with, it's loading, I think it's maybe Ioana. No, Tuesday is, loading here. Tuesday is Adam Ciccoliti, another wonderful Canadian guitarist, and then Tom Clippinger. So
nice program.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. And I also want to give a really quick thank you to my two patrons, Michelle Wilfong Oliphant, thank you, Michelle, and Mitchell Kotansky. So thank you both so much for your support of the show, because it makes it possible for me to keep it going. And thank you everyone for watching. It's been wonderful.